Hi creatives, I am Dima and I bring to you another interesting one, and that is the sewing of this beautiful Caribbean Bustier Corset dress that you can see on the screen with puff sleeve. We drafted this in our last tutorial. This tutorial is all about sewing. But then I have another interesting one, and that is the flay part of this dress, the upper part of the Caribbean, you know, part of this dress. I didn't cut the flay on bias like this. The flay was cut on a straight grain. In this tutorial, I'll share with you how to do that. Not just that, I will also share with you why it is done this way. You will not want to miss any parts of this tutorial. I shared this and much more. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the video. These patterns were drafted in the last tutorial, and these are the pieces of the main fabric. I had to apply wadding and hairstay, and also at the back I applied hairstay. That is for the fabric. And for the lining I applied wadding, and then I applied gum stay on the neckline, okay, to make it more stable. Now these are the interfacings I used, and I ensured that the wadding did not get to the very tip of these necklines. I stopped about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch to the tip of the neckline. So I also applied gum stay to the back. You can see the notches on this part, and I'll be following the notches to just join this bustier together. After joining it, following the notches, this is what it looks like, and also this is the lining. I'll just go ahead and place it like this and then stitch it along the neckline. After stitching, I notched and then top stitched. That is what I did for that neckline, and ironed, of course. That is what I did for the back and the front. Okay, stitch, notch, and then top stitch. You iron it out. So this is what it looks like. So after doing this, the next is to just place it as you can see me do and stitch it lining to lining and fabric to fabric. You can see what I did here. Do yours exactly like that. Stitch lining to lining and fabric to fabric. That is the sewing technique I used for this dress. Okay, the lining is separate and the fabric is separate. You can see that right now. I have gone ahead to do that, and you can see what it looks like. Now the next is to go ahead and measure the waistline. Now I measured just the front waistline, and it gave me about 17 inches. This is what I'll be using for this. So full gown length is 56 inches. So what I have to do is just to subtract the half length from the 56 inches, and the remaining is definitely 39 inches. Now the length of this flay is 26 inches. That is what I used as the length of this flay. The remaining length of 13 will form the lower gather. That is what I did here. Okay, this is the length of the flay, and what I just measured now is the waist measurement divided by 2. That is the front waist divided by 2, but the whole waist divided by 4. So now the length I have here is 26, and of course the width, that is the waistline area, is 17 divided by 2. Okay, that is what, 8.5. So I had to draw slash lines, and then I'll go ahead and place my fabric appropriately to cut the flay. Now, the regular way we know is to place flay on bias grain like this and cut, but that is not what I want to do. In this one, I use straight grain. I folded it the regular way you place your fabric on fold when you want to cut. You can see the tip of the fabric in this video and understand how I folded this. So I'll just go ahead and open up the slash lines and then slash and then spread. Okay, after slashing I had to spread. Now on fold, this fabric is about 25 inches on fold. Okay, like this. So feel free to spread as much as you want. Okay, what I spread here is about 5 inches. You can make it bigger if you want your flay to be bigger. Now what this does is it will make the flay not to be as big as, it will just look portable, like not too full. That is what cutting on straight grain line does to this flay. So after doing that, I just had to go ahead and notch the seam allowance. This is the front flay and this is the middle part. I'll just go ahead and use this to cut the back as well. So I'll place it on fold back like this and place the fabric on fold again so that I'll be able to cut the back. Now you can see what I did. I placed it on fold again and I moved it away from the fold. Okay, I moved it away by about 1 inch from the fold. That is going to serve as the zipper allowance for the back. So I've cut it out and this is what I have. I had to go ahead and notch the zipper allowance there and then open up the zipper allowance. Now the pattern of the fabric will not let you see exactly where it is, but that is what I'm pointing here. So I had to notch it so that at a glance I will know where the zipper is, so that I won't confuse it with the side of the skirt. Now this is the next thing I did. I measured and I got 24 inches here. That is on fold 24. When you open up is 48. I'll multiply this by 2 and then cut out. 48 times 2 is about 96. Okay, that is what I measured along this fabric like this. I didn't use up all of the 96. Okay, at the end of this it was remaining about 6 inches or thereabouts. So what I did was to mark there the 96 inches measurement. Now here is supposed to be 13 inches, but what I measured is 15 because of the same allowances I'll be needing. Okay, so I added 2 inches for the fold and every other seam allowance that I will be needing to finish up this. Now here what I have is 15 and along it what I have is 96. I hope you understand. So I had to close up the zipper part of this. I'll leave zipper allowance upper part open and then stitch down just as you have seen here. So I had to do that and also serge the seam where necessary. So I had to open up like this. Of course you will iron to keep everything in shape. Now after ironing, the next thing to do is to go ahead and get this. You can see that I've serged there and also turned it, so this part of the fabric is finished. So I'm going to gather it on top of this, on top of it. Watch how the way I am folding it on top of this flay is exactly the way you are going to be doing yours, okay, to make exactly the style. Okay, you place it like this also in front because I cut double of this for front and the back, and I'm going to form gather on it. You can form gather to, you know, match exactly the measurement that you need there, okay, before you stitch it on. I believe you know how to form your gather stitches either with your machine or with your hand sewing needle and thread. Okay, so after doing that, this is what I got. I formed my gather and you can see how I stitched it down there, and this is the, you know, front part of this. I'm going to place it like this and stitch the side. Now I'm going to measure 2.5 here and mark. Then I'll give an opening of about 10 inches. Measure your around hand. If it gives you like, let's say 10 or 9, if it gives you 9, half of 9 is 4.5. You just add extra like 2 inches to it, and that will be about 6.5, 7. So you measure 2.5, measure about 7 inches or 8 inches for the pocket entry, and then from that part you stitch down. So you leave that opening there for the pocket entry. I hope you understand. The opening of the pocket entry should be about 7.5 inches. That is fine for the pocket entry. So I'll just go ahead here and mark. You can see me marking the pocket entry on this, you know, fabric. This fabric is on fold and I'm going to just cut randomly as you can see me do. Please, you will understand the measurements I took shortly. So to be sure of the depth of your pocket, you can see how I angled out that. You are going to measure your hand like this, okay? So anything you get for your hand like that, you're going to add like 1 inch or 2 inches at most, and ensure that that matches with the depth of the pockets you have here. Definitely the width is going to be matching with the pocket entry, okay? If your pocket entry is like, let's say 7, you're going to make this width to be about 8.5 or 9, okay? of this pocket, okay, the where the hand enters through, you know, to enter the pocket. You're going to make this part to be 1.5 or 2 inches wider than the pocket entry you created on the fabric. So I had to stitch it down and also serge, and this is what I got. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead and bring this parts of the dress. Watch how I am placing this pocket. That is how you're going to place yours. I had to place it almost at the tip of this allowance and pin it down, okay. Now this other part, I'm also going to pin it down on the other side of this skirt. Now after pinning it down, this is what I have. I'm going to do the same thing for the second side or the opposite side, and this is what I got. After all of that, I have gone ahead to finish up the tip. If you haven't, just go ahead, finish it up at this stage, or when you finish up your dress, you can finish up the hem of the dress at once. So having done this, this is what I have, and you can see that the tip, okay, you can also see the pocket and what it looks like. So now this is the upper part. I'm going to match the middle part, mark it, notch the middle part so that it will match with the middle of the front skirt as well, okay. So that while adding this skirt part to the bodice, you're going to use these notches to, you know, make your landmarks, to make your dress balance really nicely, okay. The side seam of the skirt should match with the side of the bodice, the middle of the skirt will match with the middle of the bodice, and so on. So this is the flare lining that I will also be closing up, and of course joined to the lining of this dress. You can see that I've already joined it. Please, you can use the pattern of the flare part of this dress to cut the flare lining, or you cut your flare all in one, leaving the zipper allowance only open. This does not affect anything because the lining is separate and the fabric is separate as well. So this is what I have here. Now the next thing to do is to put a zipper. Now the zipper will also be between the lining and the fabric. The next thing I'm going to do is to stitch my zipper like this, okay, on the fabric itself, and then you're going to open up your zipper and this part will go like this. You are going to lay it like this and turn over the lining like this and stitch it down so that this zipper will be between the lining and the fabric. Now you're going to stop it at the level that the opening of the lining ends, okay. Now this is what the zipper looks like. Here I am measuring where the sleeve is going to start from, okay, based on the measurements I have on the main pattern, okay, while cutting the pattern. So I'm going to really knit up there very well so that fixing the sleeve will be very easy breezy. So that is what I did here, and yes, the next is to go ahead and stitch the zip and of course fix it up. So this is the sleeve that we cut in the last tutorial, okay. So in the last tutorial we made a pattern of this off shoulder puff sleeve, and now is the time to stitch it. So I have stitched the upper part and of course top stitched, okay. So I have top stitched it and also stitched down to form a channel where the elastic will enter. Now having done this, I'll just go ahead and trim off excess lining that is coming out like this, because you don't want this coming out on the sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and trim this out, and then I am going to turn it right sides facing each other, okay, and then stitch that place closed and of course form a channel where the elastic will also be passing. So I'm going to turn it like this and then stitch close the lower part. After stitching it close, I am going to also try and top stitch and of course stitch on top to form a channel where the elastic will be passing through. That is just it. So this is what I have here, and I've gone ahead to stitch and top stitch, as you can see, okay. I've top stitched, so it's just to arrange it really nicely, okay. You can see that the lining is not coming out because it has been trimmed already. So I'm going to just stitch on top to form a channel for this elastic. So what you're going to do is to measure the elastic. So what I measured here is 4 inches times 2, which is about 8 inches, and I'll be using it for the upper part of the sleeve like this. Okay, I kept that to a side for the 2 sleeves, and for the lower part you're going to take the measurement of where you want this sleeve to land. That is the hem part. Anywhere you want the sleeve to get to, measure around that place on your arm, and then, or your client's arm, and then that is exactly what you're going to measure on this elastic. Yes, take it from me, so that by the time you use part of the allowance, it will be very nice. Take the measurement of exactly what you need. So right now what I am doing is to pass it with the safety pin, and yeah, if you have your bodkins, you can use it to pass your elastic. I used safety pin here, and you can see how I finished it up to ensure that it does not enter inside while stitching. Is what you need to be careful with, so that you don't end up with double work, because if you don't manage it, it can go inside and you will start afresh. So be careful while inserting this elastic, so that it doesn't move inside in the process and you start afresh. So I just had to bring the main cloth like this and just fix the sleeve to it, just as you can see me demonstrate here. I'll head right to the sewing machine and fix the sleeve for the 2 sides. I placed on the mannequin, and this is what I got. You can see how gorgeous this dress is looking. Are you going to try it out? Let me know what you think. Do well to subscribe, turn on your notification bell to be the first to know when I upload. Love you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.